Hey folks, David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. In this video, we're going to be talking about two of my most favorite topics. One is gap trading, and one is profits, or money. On one hand, gap trading, as you know, and you've heard me say many times, it's absolutely the single best and most profitable day trading strategy available in the market. I have a course at LazyGapTrader.com that I teach two strategies how to gap trade. I teach a morning gap trading strategy where I teach you how to calculate specific price levels where stocks should find resistance or support. I teach you how to pinpoint those numbers, and I'm going to show you an example of that right here with Dinergy. And the second strategy I teach in the course is a gap fill strategy where I help you understand how to identify where the actual gap fill trades exist, what time frames to use on what charts, what stocks to use, which works the best. What are we looking for in terms of characteristics of the stocks, certain volume, certain market capitalization? All these things get factored in, and they're basically all part and parcel to the reason why I can teach you how to successfully trade the gap trades, or the gap fill trades, I should say. Let's get into the morning gap trade from earlier today, making this video on June 15th. It's a Wednesday, and we had three potential gap trades today. So what I do is, not only do I teach a course at LazyGapTrader.com, but I also give members who want to get them, and I give you a 2-week trial if you want it, I give you access to get my gap trades each and every day. So Dinergy was my gap trade, and I'm going to show you two other ones. And I send it out in an email early in the morning with the stock, what it's doing, gapping higher or lower, what the resistance or support level or multiple levels are, and how much profit to take and where your stop loss order should be. I give you all this information at about 9 a.m. this morning, half an hour before the market opens. So let's take a look at that email that happened earlier today. So here it is. It goes out at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can see there were three stocks on the list. HCLP was a gap lower, Dinergy, DYN, was a gap lower, and Bob Evans Farms, BOBE, was a gap lower, and we're going to talk about that one briefly also. But let's cover, and by the way, High Crush did not hit its level, therefore it becomes a no trade, so it's off the board. If it doesn't hit the level we're willing to buy the stock at, it's off the board, it's a no trade. So the two we're working with is Dinergy and Bob Evans Farms. So here's a daily chart, and you can see I gave two specific price levels in the email. And here it is. On Dinergy, it was $15.48 and a secondary level at $14.61. Let's go back to the stock, and let's even go down to a shorter time frame so we can magnify exactly what happened from a day trading and scalping perspective. But before we switch over the chart, I just want you to notice the two purple trend lines running across the screen. The first one is at $15.48 and the second one is at $14.61. The secondary level that I suggested was a buy zone as the stock was gapping lower at the open. Let's magnify this. So here's a 5-minute chart, and you can see at $15.48, which is the purple trend line, the first one, you could see that was actually the low of the day. Okay, so we have low of the day, $15.48, and the stock has done nothing but go higher ever since. In my course, I teach a couple of things. I teach A, how to calculate this exact level. Anybody that's taken my course could have had the same opportunity with Dinergy this morning. And the second thing I teach you how to do is I teach you how to turn a trade like this into a profit and a risk-free, emotionless trade. I have a whole video module where I teach some of the trade management strategies that enables you to maximize your profits. It's all part and parcel to the whole gap trading methodology at LazyGapTrader.com. I mean, how much more do I really need to explain about this? We're up just short of 7% as I make this video off of a morning gap trade pinpointing to the penny $15.48 on Dinergy. Not a lot of extra effort needs to go into this explanation. But what I do want to do is I do want to move on to Bob Evans and explain something that happened there. Now, as you know, we're not going to win every trade. Some trades are much bigger winners than others. And sometimes we're just going to have to take a loss. Well, let me show you on a shorter time frame. Let me magnify Bob Evans a little bit. So here's a 10-minute chart. Two levels given out this morning, 42.40, 41.02. The 42.40 number was off the table because the stock opened below that number. People that have taken my course, traders in my course, know exactly what to do with that information when a stock opens below a specified level. So the stock comes into the second level and it pierces through by too much and then recovers. So by 10 o'clock in the morning, the stock hit a high of 41.84. But the problem is it went through our stop. So the issue is it worked and it didn't work. Okay, I got stopped out, and other traders probably got stopped out who took this trade. Even though it worked out, we don't mess around with the discipline, and that brings me to the following point. Okay, the stock has too light of volume. It's outside of the characteristics of what I teach in my course. I shouldn't have traded the stock. I shouldn't have given it as a trade alert. I learned my lesson. If we learn something each and every day, we're moving forward. I didn't adhere to my normal rules, and therefore I got punished as a result. So therefore, I'll never ever do it again. So we had a very big, nice, huge winner in Dinergy, and we had a small loss in Bob Evans Farms. The winner far outweighs the loss, and that's the way we roll over here at lazygaptrader.com. If you want to learn how to do this for yourself, how to pinpoint a stock like Dinergy at 1548 to the penny after it's gapping down. And by the way, how much was it gapping down at the open? All right. So yesterday's close was at 1685. Today's open was at 1560. 8%. Being able to identify a target area for a bounce in the market to the penny when a stock's down about 8% from yesterday's close is a pretty interesting strategy that I think you may want to learn more about. Come over to lazygaptrader.com. Check it out, learn for yourself, learn how to do this for yourself so that you can profit for the rest of your trading career. I'm David Frost, lazygaptrader.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks.